welcome to my show. Today I will show you how to change your bearing. The reason I do it is because my bearing in my steering head has made a mark or is worn in the middle because I have been driving 100,000 kilometers. So this is sitting like. So to get rid of this, I have to change the bearings. And this is how I will do it. Before you can take off the bearings that are sitting in here, of course you have to take the wheel and the brakes off and the fog tubes. And the fog tubes, I don't want to tell you how to take off the wheel and the bearing and the brakes because you can see that in another video. But the fog tubes you can take out by twisting these nuts. They can be hard. There's 4 bolts. Two on the bottom and 2 on the top. And the front suspension, you can just slide right out. That's it. After taking the fork tubes out of the bike, I will loosen the steering, and I will loosen. There's a nut that's holding the brake line. I will loosen this, so the brake line will come off. This one. But before I loosen it, I have to loosen the 2 brake lines in the bottom. They're only held by a small bolt, and you just have to loosen them so the brake lines are not sitting on this one. To be sure my steering is not going into my tank, I take some line and just secure it around the windscreen. And here you go. The knot is loose. And the reason I took it up here is because I want to go up that way and don't hit my tank. Now I think I could take this one off, and I don't have to take off the key because it stays on this. So this one I just put aside like the other stuff and don't mess more with this. Now I've taken off the ignition key, and here I actually can loosen this by hand, just unscrewing it like this and take off this one. And underneath there you have a dust seal, and under there you have the bearings, and now you can take off this one easy. Now using my front axle from the front wheel to hit the bearing so it will go out. And there you have it, the old seal for the old ring from the bearing. You do the same on the opposite side. You go from below and hit up to get it free. Now to put your new bearing in, remember to put some grease on the bearing. And this grease should be waterproof, of course. So you take some grease and put it down here. To put in the new bearing, I use a big hammer to place on top of the bearing, and then I hit the bearing with this one. Or I can put it in with this one. To make sure it's right on the button, I take the old bearing and put it upside down and put it on the top, so I have something to hit, and don't hit your fingers. You can hear when it's right in the hole because it gives another sound, and this is, you can just take off. So now you have the new bearing in here, and I have to put one in the bottom too, and it's the same procedure. So now we have the bearings and need to put them on. To put them on, you have to grease them. And you grease them by putting a lot of grease in your hand. And remember, it should be waterproof grease. And then you simply put the grease into, you press it into the, so it will come out of the holes. Then you will be sure that the bearing had enough grease. Better put too much grease in than too little, because if you put too little grease, you have to redo the whole process again very soon. Now we have another tricky part. Actually, this can be pretty tricky. That is the bearing down here we have to take off. Of course, we first take this one off, and underneath we have the seal, and this we will change. But the bearing is coming off like this, and then we have to take this off. Now to take the inner bearing off, I just put it in one of these on a very stable chair. Then I take a big screwdriver and I will try to hit it in here and see if it's loosened. Before I replace it, I have to take a dust seal, and this I also put a little bit of grease on, also on the rubber, because it should be there for a long time. So I put this one with the seal up, and then I take the new bearing and put it down here. It should just slide over, and does. And now I have to put it down here, and to be sure that it's not gonna be too stuck again, and put some grease on this. And here is a very tricky part, because I have to hammer this down and don't damage the new bearing. Here you can see the old bearing that I made a little grind with my angle grinder in to get off. It was very stuck. But I will use it again now to put the new one in, and I simply put it upside down here, and there, down there. Then it will fit to the new bearing, and I can hit this to get the new bearing back in place. It should be possible to just take a normal hammer and hammer it down, but maybe I should have a little more stable on the ground. But now the job is nearly done. I finally got the new bearing on, and I greased it up so it's ready to use again. Now I only need to put it into the head and put the top bearing on and the seal, and then lock it. So That's what I do now. Then I take the top bearing, put it on, there. And then I take the dust seal and put it on. And finally I take the locking nut and put this one on. To tighten it down, I just start to tighten it as hard as I can with my fingers. And then you should probably get a C wrench, but I got a wrench like this. Just put it in and tighten it. Not too much, because don't damage your new bearing. So tighten it as it is. It is hard, but it still goes smooth. And I think that's it. It's not very hard here. The steering head is moving quite nice, no slack in it. So that's it. After tightening the nut down, not too hard, not too loose, so you can still move it. You can take this one, put on, and then put the washer back on the top, and of course the big bolt that locks it all up. Let's put it back on. And don't tighten it too much, because you need to line the two forks up, and that you do by putting back one of the shocks. So now I put back the shocks, and I know these two lines up, and I can tighten the nut down. And this time I do it from this side, so I don't kill my gasoline tank again. And now I only need to tighten the bolt down here, and that is 10 kilos. And we will see where 10 kilos is. Here we have 10 kilos. And we will tighten this down. That is. And of course, remember to put all the gas lines and clutch levers and all this clutch inside the holders, the clips that holds all the wires, cables. And then remember to put the brake lines back again. When you tighten up the steering, remember that you must check that the steering is not hitting the fuel tank before you tighten it down. Well, thank you for watching today's show. Now I have a steering wheel that's running perfectly and smooth. I hope you enjoyed, and if you want to see more videos about how to maintain your Africa Twin, then remember to subscribe. Bye bye.